economic business development and job creation. And each year we have a competitive solicitation to secure funding. I'll give a brief overview of the request and then I'll give an opportunity for each applicant to provide additional details on each project. Garrett County Public Schools is requesting $300,000 in ARC funding for a culinary arts lab at Northern Garrett High School. The town of Oakland is requesting $60,000 for Water Street revitalization project planning. Reflection House is requesting $250,000 for the Pathways to Purpose workforce development for addiction recovery and reentry. Garrett College is requesting $50,000 for the expansion of its welding program as part of continuing education and workforce development program expansion. And Garrett County Department of Public Utilities is requesting $140,000 for the Garrett County Water and Wastewater SCADA modernization project. The Board of County Commissioners has a deadline of May 16th to submit a ranked listing to Tri-County Council of Western Maryland, where there's a regional ranking of all these projects. I will go in the order of what is on the agenda, and if Bobby Witt is here, we'll get you started with GCPS.
Thank you for having me here today. Garrett County Public Schools, we're asking for $300,000 for a culinary arts lab up at Northern Garrett High School. We want to give the students on the northern end the same opportunities that the students on the southern end have. This money will be utilized for the needed infrastructure extended to that part of the building. Have to connect to a sewer line, have a grease trap, get potable water lines ran so that we can pass Garrett County Health Code. As you know, hospitality is the fourth largest industry in the county. There's been a lot of interest. We believe there will be around 100 students in total that enroll in this program, with 25 completing the program each year, and they will be ready to enter the workforce. Any questions regarding this project? Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. Commissioners, thanks for having us today. The Town of Oakland, in conjunction with Community Action, is asking for $60,000 for design and planning services for the revitalization of a neighborhood down by the Yawk River on Water Street. That $60,000 would be used for design and planning for a park area that would be on an empty lot that Oakland owns right along the river to provide public access to the river and fishing, as well as sidewalk restoration, streetscaping for the neighborhood, and then in addition, it would provide for exterior restoration of the Geisman Hotel building that Community Action owns as apartments, and that would be designed for that, and then also design plans for new workforce housing that would be located on a vacant lot that Community Action owns in the development. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Noel, do you have my PowerPoint, sir? So mine's going to take a little bit longer than theirs, but I did my homework is what I like to think. So hello everyone, my name is Jamie Bell and I am the Executive Director of Reflection House. And I'm here to speak about a proposal for Reflection House called the Pathways to Purpose project, and we're requesting $250,000 from the ARC area development program to help us cover operating costs. So in the next few slides, I'm going to lay out more specifically what's going to be requested, what we're going to use those requested funds for, and kind of how the project aligns with the goals, the objectives, and the strategies for the ARC program. So on to the next slide, who we are. So this is going to line out our mission statements. I'm not going to read it to you guys. You can advance the slide, Mr. Noel. Yeah, there we go. So I'm not going to read that to you. You can find it on our website. But essentially, we are a 5013C nonprofit operating as housing. So with recovery-specific housing. So recovery housing that helps women in recovery from substance use disorder and alcohol use disorder. And we can house women up to 12 months at this facility. So next slide. I'm not going to spend much time on this slide, but the thing that I want to point out here is that we are housing. We are recovery housing, and with housing, it's not medically reimbursed service. So our revenue is not coming from insurance-based reimbursements. Our revenue comes from subsidized bed fee costs that we ask from the clients. So next slide, Mr. Noel, we're going to talk about how recovery ecosystems build recovery capital. I get really excited about this one because it's how we can kind of really show the economical benefits of how we fit into the community. So recovery ecosystems are a coordinated network of services and supports, as well as opportunities that help individuals with substance use disorder and alcohol use disorder reintegrate back into the community. And this is mainly done through employment and through education. Now, recovery capital, that refers to the total capital of resources that our community has, that someone can tap into to draw upon to reintegrate. And Reflection House has arms in each one of these buckets that you see up here on the screen. So next slide, Mr. No, we're going to talk about the alignment with the goals, the objectives, and the strategy. So the first one there is the ARC 2024 strategy for Governor Wes Moore. So we're going to align with their economic development. We're going to align with their recovery ecosystem framework, as well as that last bullet, the education and workforce development. Then dropping down in the ARC's 5-year strategic plan, we're going to align strongly, and that's what we put on our PPD, was the Building Appalachia's Workforce Ecosystem. But we also, in a smaller way, a smaller capacity, align with the Building Appalachian Businesses, as well as building community leaders and capacity. And then last is the Garrett County's comprehensive plan. So we're going to align with workforce shortages, workforce housing, and that balancing that economy out by tapping into the underutilized recovery workforce. So the next slide. So I'm going to use those performance measures to kind of describe the activities that the funds are going to be used for. And this is in order of implementation, right? So you can't have programming that you're going to implement if you don't have the staff to do it. So the first one is the workforce development and staff retention, getting them staff and then retaining them. And then we move into the peer support integration, so training the peers to do the program that we need them to do. And then we can move into implementing that programming, and then we can drop down into looking at the resident outcomes and the recovery pathways that they pursue. And then the plans and the reports, that's a requirement of ARC for any of the entities that are doing these planning projects. So we have that there. And then last, we move into the number of organizations served and improved. So using those funds to improve our community. So I'm not going to read these slides off to you, but I wanted to highlight the activities that we're going to be doing under these next couple of slides, and really align them with the goals and the objectives and the strategies that you see up top. And I really created this for the benefit of the commissioners so that you guys have this to refer to. So Mr. Knoll, if you would do me a favor and drop down into the the project cost. So go ahead and scroll all the way down to the project cost. And if you guys, after looking at that, have any questions, commissioners, please feel free to reach out. All right, so project costs. Of course, the biggest cost is always payroll, and that's coming in at $400,000 for us. So that's going to cover all the staff positions, their fringe benefits, all of their payroll taxes that we have, in the workers' comp insurance, as well as any promotions or cost of any living increased wages. We've accounted for that there. So then we're going to drop down into the administrative and supplies, coming in at $43,000. So that covers things like our accounting services, our software fees, any of the marketing or grant writing, any of the legal costs, food that we supply, and of course the office and house supplies, as well as any repairs and maintenance to the facility and our website domains, and any promotion and outreach that we do through our Walk for Recovery and the Garrett County Health Fair. So then dropping down into the utilities next, that needs no explanation. That's going to cover utilities. That's coming in at $27,000. And then dropping down again into the taxes and insurance. That's going to cover our business liability and our umbrella insurance, as well as our directors and officers insurance, and then just covering any premium increases there that we might see. That comes in at $9,000 for us. And then last listed is our transportation at $15,000. It is a central part of our program. That's of course covering mileage and any repairs and maintenance to the vehicle, as well as our registration and our insurance. So excuse me, totaling coming in just at under $500,000. Next slide, Mr. Knoll. So to wrap this up, I'm going to kind of use this impact summary. We're a little over halfway through our first year of opening. We opened in beginning of October last year, and we've already served 24 individuals. Our annual goal was to hit 30. So in the next couple months, we're definitely going to hit that. And I want to just point out that we don't just help the individuals who come into us, into the recovery house. We help their families, and we help our communities as well. So the first pillar there is to gain employment, which is what this grant is all about. So we've already had 6 individuals in the house gain employment through C. Palmer's and places like Uno's and the hospitality industry that we have that's really strong here. And then that next pillar is the one we had the most interest in at Reflection House, and that's the workforce education piece. We have 2 individuals who are pursuing, they're finishing their addiction counseling and their cybersecurity. They started those degrees before they got into addiction, and now they're going to finish them up. We also have 3 residents who are looking at workforce placement and education through the Western Maryland Consortium. They come into the house once a month. We partner with them to do these things. And those individuals are looking at things like diesel mechanics and welding using the Garrett College program that they have. Then we have 3 residents plus 5 staff who are pursuing their certification to become peer recovery specialists. And we just had one of our peers test on Friday, and she got her certification. So we're very proud of her. And then the third tier, access to higher levels of care. I'm personally proud of this one. We've been able to help 3 individuals get into higher level of care. So things like Shepherd Pratt, Arenda Center, and Changing Turns. So they're all higher levels of care than what Reflection House operates at. So that means nobody got dropped through the gaps. You know, if they needed psychiatric care, we got them there. If they needed more inpatient treatment, we got them there. Really proud of that one. And then the last one there, the last pillar is the stable housing. So we've had 3 individuals who needed housing. Some individuals come to us and they already have housing. We had 3 individuals who needed housing, and they've all been successful in getting that by using some of the ecosystem that we have set up. And the thing to know about that is that these individuals aren't just Garrett County based. These individuals are coming out of Allegheny County and out of West Virginia over in Martinsburg, and they're getting stable housing here and they're getting employed here. 2 of the 3 people are from one was from Allegheny and one was from Martinsburg, West Virginia. So all of this to convey our project's readiness and our potential for job growth. So last slide, Mr. Knoll. So thank you guys. Together, I really do believe that we are building recovery and resilience, and I couldn't help myself. You'll have to forgive me. I had to put in a recovery quote. Recovery is not just possible. It is powerful. It is some powerful stuff. And if anybody needs any more information, you can check us out on our social platforms and of course our website. And I had to do a plug when I was thinking about what I would wear today. I was like, I'm gonna free advertise today. So we got our Golf for a Cause Suzette helped me June 9th. Yes. June 9th at 8 a.m., 1,000 acres. And then the Walk for Recovery. This is our 3rd annual Walk for Recovery. And this year we're hosting it at Broadford on September 13th at 10 a.m. So thank you guys again, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, too.
Julie?
Thank you.
Yep.
Good afternoon. Thanks for the opportunity. For those I don't know, my name is Julie Yoder. I'm the Dean of Continuing Education and Workforce Development at Garrett College. Our project has to do with our welding program that we've operated since 2010. I'll hold on for just a second as Kevin is pulling that up. We implemented welding as a continuing education and workforce development program in 2010. Prior to that, the college did offer welding courses, but it wasn't a program per se. They were elective courses on the credit side, and non-credit students could enroll in them as well. In 2010, when the Wendell Arbeitzel Career Technology Training Center was opened, welding transitioned over to continuing education. As of now, it's comprised of 3 courses: preparation for welding, welding 1 and welding 2. All of those are taught by local professionals who are employed in the welding industry. The class has evolved, the program has evolved over time. We've made some adjustments as we've gotten input from industry professionals. Right now it takes 8 months to complete, and students attend 2 evenings a week. The students can earn a number of credentials: an OSHA 10 certification, the National Center for Construction Education and Research, NCCER for short, core credential, and construction safety credential. And then finally, at the end, the students are eligible to take an American Welding Society Standard D 1.1 certification that's in carbon and low alloy steel. What I want to stress here is when students complete this class, they have a good foundation. So that particular credential is a very baseline for stick welding. That's what it's intended to be, sort of a common denominator among industry, so that once they become employed, their employer is going to say, I want you to get certified in this or that, whatever that looks like. Okay. So what does our enrollment look like? When we first started in the 2010, we had fairly strong enrollment, but in the mid-2010s it really picked up, and we were doing two cohorts a year. As with everything else, when COVID hit, that really dropped significantly, and we would serve about 9 or 10 completers per year that the program was turning out. In FY25, this current year, we had 20 students who wanted to take welding. We can't accommodate that many at any given time, so we ended up having 2 sections instead of 1. What's an interesting fact about this program this year, this program does qualify for the county scholarship program. 80% of the students enrolled this year were served by the county scholarship. So that could be a recent high school graduate, could be somebody who recently obtained their GED, or could be a homeschool student. So that's a pretty significant interest from that group. Okay, Kevin. So our current challenges, as I said, we opened the facility in 2010, 15 years ago. So the equipment is aging, having issues with it, and there are limitations in what we can do. The welders that were chosen were strictly for stick welding. We do have a couple of MIG welders and a couple of TIG welders, but we can't do anything of significant because of that. So our strategy with these funds, if we're fortunate to get them, are to replace the current welders with the unit that you see here. This is called a multi-process welder, so it allows for stick, MIG, and TIG, which are the 3 most predominant welding applications that you would want to see. By being able to do all 3, we can expand what we're offering to benefit other businesses in the community. For example, aluminum welding, we can't do that currently, we could. So if you think about docks, the marinas, they would all benefit by having people be able to be certified in aluminum. Pipe welding would be another example of a class that we could offer to support fabrication companies and others in the manufacturing industry. The other thing that we would purchase if we were chosen for this funding is a bandsaw. I couldn't tell you how to operate a bandsaw, but from what I understand, what we're doing currently is a little bit antiquated, and so the addition of a bandsaw to the lab would increase safety, increase efficiency, and then have improved productivity, as well as skill enhancement for those who finish the program. They'd have yet another skill to take to the employer. So in summary, would update our technology, provide better equipment for our students, and allow us to increase the number of offerings that we are able to do currently just from the limitations of the equipment that we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Commissioners, my name is Nathaniel Watkins, so I have the pleasure of leading the IT department for Garrett County Government, and this afternoon I'm going to briefly speak about a project on behalf of our Department of Public Utilities, and that is for a SCADA modernization. So for those of you that don't know what that is, it stands for Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition. So it's basically a fancy way of saying we need to do a better job of collecting data at our plants. So we have sensors that basically are siloed. So in Garrett County, we have roughly a dozen water and wastewater treatment plants. And at any one of those sites, the data doesn't really go anywhere, right? So if you want to know if a pump is running and potentially or broken, you have to be on site looking at this. And the data is not really, you can't really report on the data. So some problems that we have at any given point in time, I can't tell you how much water is sitting in a tank on the top of the hill serving these systems. And the problem then becomes you can run out of water and not know about it until it's too late. Some other issues that you can run into, if a pump is running continuously, we don't know about it. So there's a scenario where there could be a water break and the pump just keeps pumping water into the system and it's getting dumped onto the ground. That can happen for months at a time. It's bad. So we check, we do meter readings every 3 months. So you could have a water break, a water line break that's running for months, and you don't know about it until it's kind of too late. So you lose hundreds of thousands of gallons of water, which is not free to produce. So you have the electricity of the pumps, we're chlorinating the water, and we're just dumping it on the ground, which isn't good for the environment, fish, all that stuff, it's bad. So this SCADA system will allow us to monitor that data in real time. So we ran a pilot project in Kitzmiller, so installed a sensor, and we can now determine how much water is in a tank. Seems like a very simple thing. With that data, we can now make informed decisions. So we can run pumps based on the actual tank levels. We have some systems where that's not automated in any way. So you may have someone who comes by, turns a pump on, and they forget about it. And the pump just runs and runs and runs, and water could dump. I mean, we try to avoid that, but human error is there. So by having the system in place, we can monitor those levels and we can control the pumps we can be proactive about things. We can also monitor things like vibration in a pump. So if a pump's getting ready to fail, we would know about it ahead of time. So you can do a little bit of preventative maintenance to save you a whole bunch of money. So that's essentially what the SCADA is going to do. We're going to collect data from all these locations. You can present it on a web-based platform that our supervisors and our operators can look at from their phone, from home. You can get alerts. So if something bad is happening, as opposed to waiting 2 months and finding out you lost 1 million gallons of water, you can be notified on your phone, generate a work order, take care of it. So in short, we're asking for money to do that. We're asking for $140,000 from ARC to basically upgrade all of our plants. I'm embarrassed to say that our utilities department has been neglected by the IT department for a very long time. So we just started digging in and looking for these inefficiencies. And it's been eye-opening. There's really a lot of great things we can do there. We can, again, be proactive. We can help our residents save money. It's all good things. So, any questions?
Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
All right, thank you, Trevor. So the next step in this process is we'll get together and rank these for our county's purposes. Then the 3 counties from the ARC region will get together and rank all of the projects in priority order to move forward, and we should know about which projects get funded in June, July, sometime in that time frame. So thank you all for coming in today and presenting and giving us some more information. So thank you. All right. Next up on the agenda is public commentary. Before we go to that, just a quick announcement. The next public meeting will be Tuesday, May 20th at 4 o'clock here. During that meeting, we'll have the public presentation of the preliminary budget. We do have, at the conclusion of this meeting, one more budget presentation to go. That'll be the Department of Public Works, Roads Division. Paul, thanks for coming out. Once we adjourn this meeting, we'll go to that. Everyone in here is welcome to stick around for that presentation if you would like to do so. So with that, before we adjourn, are there any questions or comments from the public? All right, hearing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, public meeting is adjourned. Paul, I'll turn it over to you, and we'll get into the county roads budget.
Mr. Harvey?
Commissioners, thanks for having me here today. Appreciate the opportunity to go over our budget, which is, it is a pretty good budget. If most of you don't know me, my name is Paul Harvey. I'm the Roads Division Chief for Department of Public Works for Garrett County. Most people think I have some kind of control of the weather. That's false news. I don't have any kind of control of the weather or anything like that. But we do deal a lot with the weather. I think Kevin's got a present or a slide there for me. Get that going.
Give me a second here. It's locked up.
IT just left, so.
Yeah, exactly.
You're on your own,
He
Kevin.
left in a hurry.
Oh, good show. There we go, I got you.
Okay, first I would start with is county roads. Maybe some don't know, I'm sure commissioners are aware of this. We maintain about 682 miles of road in the county. Kind of broken down by area there, Oakland area, Axon, and Grantsville. Oakland having the most amount, but actually if you combine Axon and Grantsville, the northern end actually has the most roads that we maintain in the county. Other than roads, we also maintain 192 bridges, which 128 of them are actually structured bridges. The rest of them are big culverts, more or less, but we still consider them bridges. So that's a good bit of bridges for a small county and everything. Next slide, Kevin, please. Our requested budget is for $20,944,970. That's a tremendous amount, I know. 48% of that's for our salaries and benefits. We have our paving, our tar and chipping coming in almost $4 million. Fuels right around 2.2 million. Supplies and material, and I'll go over all this stuff here as I present. Materials about 1.2 million. Abrasives 1 million. Vehicle and equipment repairs about $850,000. Line striping, we're close to $600,000 there. Stone, $400,000, and all of our other accounts, combined for about $576,000. So that gives an operating budget of $20,944,970. We'll also have a capital budget that we're requesting for $4,787,000. So. The paving we plan on doing with this coming year's budget is approximately 32 miles of road. It costs us about $105,000 per mile to pave a road in Garrett County. We're very fortunate in Garrett County that we have our own paving crew. We're able to do a lot of work in-house, and that is a cost savings, believe it or not. So we also plan on tar and chipping 28 miles of road, which a lot of that's just a chip seal is what it is. We plan on doing about 20 miles of that. That's about $25,000 a mile to do that. So. The supplies and material budget, we're asking for 1.2 million. A lot of that stuff that includes our snow chains, our plow blades, spreader supplies. We have augers, we have spinners, we have motors, we have hydraulic pumps, we have cutting edges we have to replace on all of our equipment, not just trucks, but loaders and graders, and we have drop boxes and outlets that we install through the summer. We have it's a freezing all truck spray that we use when we are putting our material in the truck for winter. It helps so it doesn't freeze inside the bed. And we also have like mulch, seeding. There's a lot of our products that we use to come out of that account. Currently, we back one.
Sorry.
You're all right.
We had IT
There.
here, right?
Yeah.